Hey everybody, Grooves Blues review here. And of course, tonight we're talking about the results of the Blues versus the Colorado Avalanche tonight. And the Blues pull out a 3-2 overtime win in a very exciting game in Denver, Colorado tonight. It all started off with a great breakaway goal by Tarasenko, shot it just hard enough to sneak through Varlamov and trickle into the net. And then another great goal by Alexander Steen, where he stole the puck, made a great move, and just high, top shelf goal right under the crossbar. Great goal by Alexander Steen. And the Blues are off to the races 2-0. Unfortunately, though, Alexander Steen had to leave the game, and he may have a concussion. Who knows? Of course, the Blues aren't going to say that, but we'll get back to that in a second. Of course, Colorado then tied it up at 2 later on in the game. Both goals that were scored on Jake Allen, I really didn't have a problem with tonight. It wasn't the ordinary. I'm sorry, it wasn't the usual things that were going on in front of the net when those 2 goals were scored. The third period, lots of action. Actually, a lot of great action through all 3 periods, but especially in the third period. The Blues had to kill off a penalty late in the third period, which was ridiculous call on Edmondson for a interference call after all of the missed calls, all the things that were missed, which I'll talk about too. But then we go to overtime, and we had some chances to win it very early in overtime, but we kept pursuing. And Parayko, he uses his long reach. He didn't give up on the play when he was challenging one of the players for Colorado coming out of their own end. And he ends up just putting one hand stick right on the puck, and the goalie's going one way, and he put the puck in the other. That's a difficult save coming from a person myself, who's played goal, and also too the fact that the distance between the puck and the 2 players and the defenseman, the goalie, all of that, I could see how it'd be very difficult for Varlamov to if he probably maybe was thinking maybe go out and poke check at 1 minute, but then decided to stay back. And I think some of that indecision also probably factored in to why we scored that goal. But more importantly, though, hats off to Parayko. He didn't give up on that play. He still reached out with one hand on his stick and poked that puck up in the air into the net. Great job. 3-2 win. This is a win that the Blues hopefully can build off of. That's all we hope for. But there's no reason to get excited right now. All we can do is hope for the best for the next game, that they can build off of this and go from there. One of the things I wanted to talk about first also was that ridiculous hit by Eric Johnson tonight on Alexander Steen. I understand, McKinnon, who's the star player for the Avalanche, Steen puts a hit on him. It was a clean hit. It wasn't a dirty hit. McKinnon, yes, he hit the ice, but he got back up. And I understand, Steen, he takes a shot, and his follow through, he's down a little bit. And so that helped out a little bit for Johnson as far as where he hit Steen. But still, though, he takes his shoulder right into his face. And I'm glad Johnson got a penalty. I'm glad Johnson got kicked out of the game. The refs got it right on that call. I hope Johnson gets suspended. The Blues, I understand if one of our star players were hit, we'd go back and do the same thing. I understand, but you still got to call out Johnson on that. I was very happy with Petro tonight, especially when he went back after some of the Colorado Avalanche players, including Johnson. After that hit was done on Steen, I really am glad to see that. That's a captain for you. That's the way you have to be. And so I was happy to see that tonight. Although Petro later in the game he left, hopefully he's going to be okay. But that gives me a little bit more confidence now back in him. Also, too, in the game, one of the key critical factors is that this was a high-scoring team, the highest-scoring team in the league, and they had the number 1 power play in the league. And luckily, the Blues had, for the most part, were very disciplined, and they ended up only surrendering 1 power play goal. And that is astounding, especially the way things have been going. So great job on the penalty killing, and then also too, as I said, late in the game, Edmondson got a penalty against him for interference. Shen got cross-checked 2 times earlier in that game, and they didn't call either one. They let some other things go, and yet they called that. And that's where the refs, once again, if we would have lost that game on a late power play goal by Colorado, Oh, I just would have been so aggravated with the refs. I always am aggravated with the refs, as the NHL just seems to, one of the big problems with the hockey, the whole officiating with hockey in the NHL is that they just can't get it right most of the time. There's always something that they just are missing, or just the way they do things. But anyway, nevertheless, we get the win. Like I said, this is a character win to build off of. The Blues were sticking up for each other. This was a Central Division battle. Which it looked like the Blues were really in it. They were caring for each other. They were sticking up for each other, and more importantly, too, for the most part, they were protecting the goal more. They were pushing guys out of the way when they were still standing near Jake, even after the whistle was blown when he stopped and covered the puck. That's what you got to do. You got to clear them out of that front of that net. Let them know you're there. Stick them. Push them. Get in there and mix it up. But just try not to take a penalty. There's ways to do that. Hockey players have done it for years. You still can do that, guys. So get that front of the net cleared. They did a heck of a better job tonight, and that was one of the reasons, too, why we won this game, why we hung in there with Colorado. Also, too, because we were able to really frustrate their star player, McKinnon. They're a fast team, and we were able to stop them a few times and steal the puck when they were coming out of their end in the neutral zone, and slow them down when they were in the neutral zone. That was key to going up against this team, and they did those things tonight. So hopefully, once again, they can carry this on into the next game and continue and just build off of this. This team had great emotion tonight. This is the team we're supposed to see. In each one of the wins that we've had, there's just been, it's exactly what we want to see. They just can't keep it together, and hopefully now they can. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. I'm not convinced that they can, because they haven't shown me yet that they can, but we'll just have to wait and see what the Blues can do when they go into Phoenix. But anyway, great overtime win tonight, and hopefully we can carry that on. But the final score, Blues win 3-2 in overtime. Great goal by Parayko, and of course Tarasenko and Steen scored, but Steen left the game injured. But again, glad to see them clearing the front of that net, pushing guys around, standing up for each other. That's what you got to do. It's been a terrible seeing that when they're not doing that. It's ridiculous. I mean, have they gone crazy when they're not doing that? Just come on, boys. You got to continue to stand up for each other. This is hockey. Get into the game. So anyway, Blues win 3-2. Keep it up, boys. Let's build on this. Take care, boys.